That one...
Not so much?
I'd really like to talk about that one because I started to write a rebuttal to what this guy did, and there's some important points to make about it.
Okay.
I think. So.
Okay. This was actually in the JS Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. This is January 29th that it was posted. An article entitled, if you're going to be an atheist, at least get it right. A few days ago, I took off my religious beliefs and locked them in a closet. Then, in a further act of mental gymnastics, I put on the robes of disbelief. I wanted to see how I looked and felt without my lifelong commitment to Christianity. It was pretty chilling. I didn't like the emptiness and disconnectedness, the lack of direction, and the prospect of it all ending when I die. It wasn't long before I reached back in the closet. I had gotten religion, so to speak, and I was glad to be back under the umbrella of my faith.
Now, that's where I first really took objection to what he was writing.
It took you that long.
Well, I mean, that was my first cutoff point to actually start doing a reply. Because if you say, I decided I wanted to see what it'd be like to be an atheist, so I sloughed off my beliefs, and what I discovered was that I felt disconnected and, depressed, and oh my gosh, my own mortality overwhelmed me, so I reached back in the closet and grabbed my religion. No, you did not actually view things as an atheist. You pretended what you thought it might be like to be an atheist with the bias of your religious beliefs already in place. It's not... There's no disconnection. I can completely understand. The first time you have to face, if you're coming from a religious background, the possibility that contemplating your own mortality, that death is the end, that you're not going to go on living forever, that can hit kind of hard, and it's a difficult concept to actually grasp and overcome. But it's not the end of the world, and it's not something that you just say, okay, 5 minutes of thought about what this might be like, and ooh, I don't like it, so I'm going to go back and grab my religion. If your purpose for believing is out of fear of reality, what kind of grounds is that?
Yeah.
If reality is so scary that you'd rather believe in some fanciful notion that has no proof, no evidence, no basis in reality, you're just believing out of comfort.
Yeah. And I think that is a huge part of religion's draw, is simply fear of death.
Yeah.
It's the idea that life, while it's not perfect, is pretty good.
Do you feel disconnected? Do you feel like depressed?
I don't have this huge part of my life that's missing, and I seek fulfillment from some greater source. No, not at all. Again, a fear of death is a huge part of religion's draw. It's being scared that this life is going to end, and it just plain ends.
Yeah,
my consciousness in 70 years is just going to stop.
Yeah. To me, that's what makes life so much more precious for atheists than it does for believers.
Exactly. But again, right off the bat, that's a kind of scary thought.
Yeah.
But you pick up after that saying, well, if I've only got then a limited number of years to enjoy, I'm going to enjoy this one.
Yeah, it's not an obstacle, it's an opportunity.
In the world. Exactly.
And do the best with the time you have.
Yeah. But obviously he doesn't understand any of this.
He mentions a few other things.
And goes on to say, friends. He had basically gotten a couple challenges here and there, about his religion and talking to other atheists and stuff like that. And now he's talking to us saying, friends, if you're going to be atheist, start thinking and acting like it. Get rid of your own irrational beliefs and embrace the world as you say it is. A purely physical and random place where goodness and evil don't really exist, and where the rules set down by organized religion and thousands of years of human history are no more meaningful than two rocks colliding at the bottom of a mountain after an avalanche. We never said that. Not once have I ever said that murder, it's just a whim. He says it's good, I say it's bad. Who's to know? It's not like that. We have thousands and thousands and millions of years of recorded history and human evolution and societal progress that say, no, these things suck. Stealing other people's stuff sucks for a lot of people. And therefore, we have laws against it. People who do that, we punish. And for good reason. Not just because some god said, ooh, that's bad. We have good reason for these things. It's not random.
Yeah, it's atheism isn't nihilism. It's not anarchy. If you're any kind of believer and you believe that morality must come from God, and that anybody who doesn't believe in a God can't possibly have morality. You really need to research this a little better and actually sit down and think about it, because you're falsely assuming that everybody's goals are entirely selfish. That there's nothing that could possibly anybody would want to do that's anything other than selfish. And if that's what you really think, then you have no defense to the claim that the only reason you're obeying the word of the God you believe in is because he's threatened you with hell.
Yep.
If you actually believe that everybody is selfish, then your entire morality is bent on a threat of hell or a promise of everlasting life, depending on how you behave and what you believe. If that's, if those aren't your motivations, if you claim that you're actually doing good because it's good and you just have God as some kind of moral compass, then you've already recognized that you can do good for the sake of doing good, even without a moral compass.
That was always the
big creator, anyway.
That was also a big downfall of Pascal's wager for me.
Right.
Pascal's wager is basically saying, if you're right and there is a God, then you get to go to heaven. If you're wrong and there's a God, then you get eternal hell. Any other combination basically equals out to nothing. So you're better off believing just in case, is the bottom line. Just in case there's a God, why not go ahead and believe? Well, if God can't see through a simple probability analysis and realize that the reason that you're believing is just because it's better safe, better not piss him off, then you deserve to go to hell. If that's all there is behind it, he's going to see through that. So there's no point in it. So yeah, I mean, he's got a whacked out view of an atheist mindset. What are some of the choice quotes? Life should be merely an exercise in seeking personal pleasure, procreating, and then dying.
Yeah.
Again, if you want to have a very, very short life, perhaps. If you don't mind spending most of it in jail, perhaps. I don't want to go to jail. Maybe I'm strange. In a non-believer's world, self is all that matters. Don't stop to help others. Don't give anything to charity. Don't let your conscience be your guide.
See, self can't be the only thing that matters. If there's anything we know about the evolution of species, is that our main goal is to spread those seeds around and keep the species going.
Yeah.
And if you're only worried about yourself, then you cannot possibly establish the relations in the type of societies that we have that would actually allow you to,
allow the species to go on.
Right.
That's why you have loved ones, why you have children.
Yeah, I find some of this so absurd. I'm going to pretend like I'm an atheist for a while. Ooh, I got scared. I believe you now, God. I believe you. I mean, It's just silly. You never really, this guy never really tried to actually be objective and look at things from the point of view of somebody who doesn't believe. And most people don't.
Yeah.
And they don't do it with an examination of what their actual beliefs are, the things that they find in their holy books. It's just, whoops, I believe it, and I better not look into it too deeply.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Lord.
yeah. And he's also just partly willfully ignorant.
Yeah.
To put ourselves above the animal kingdom without the existence and rules of a creator is just plain silly. Like dogs and cats and mosquitoes, atheists should embrace their freedom and act accordingly.
Wow.
And to a very, very slight extent, we do, and so do they. Every society of living, well, not every, but pretty much any higher animal has some form of what we would almost call a society. There are rules, even in the animal world amongst, dog packs and whatever,
yeah,
of what things are right and what things are wrong. Now, it's not as complicated or as detailed as, ours, for instance, but they're still there. Dogs, for instance, aren't just only about themselves. They have rules and orders and hierarchies, just like we do. And so, yes, we are another animal. We are somewhat more advanced in certain ways, but we're not completely divorced from our past and how we came to be here. So again, being an atheist is not just saying, hey, it's my own world and I'm doing whatever the hell I want to.
Screw you guys.
There's a lot more to it than that. And I'm sure Dale could have seen it if he had abandoned it and actually thought about it for more than 26 seconds of, I'm not a religious person. Wow, that sucks. I'm religious again. So,
Yeah, that's a good foundation of faith, too. God, the world's so scary. I believe.